Hi friends, welcome back. And today we are going to discussing about our new topic, that is comparison with the K6 and other performance testing tools. Okay. In a market high level, if you say right, there is a K6 and we have for J meter and we have for Gatling and then low cost. Okay. These are the four performance testing tools we have. Okay. And if you say K6, uh, future wise, if you say language, okay, or if you say language wise, K6 used for JavaScript, okay, K6 used for JavaScript, and JMeter used for XML or GUI based language, okay, and Gatling uses for Scala, okay, Scala it will use for Scala, and low cost uses for Python, Python, okay. And if you use the performance wise, okay, performance wise, if you use right, it will use for high, okay, because it is written in Go format, okay. And here is moderate it will, okay, because it is a GUF format. And here also high because we are writing from the coding language. Here also moderate, okay. And easy way of using is basically here is CLI. Okay, CLI is the best way to use command line. Okay, because command line is the first we can hit and we can get the result is a quick. And also we have for code base. Okay, CLI command plus code base. Okay, and here it is good only because it is using for GUI format. Uh, if someone want to learn quickly, they can able to do for this GUI based. Okay, you can say GUI. Comparing to good, you can mention for GUI. Okay, and here is Gatling is completely only for code based only. Okay, it will not use for command line. It will use for code base only. Okay, here also code base. Okay, both the places low cost and Gatling both are code base, and K6 is basically command line plus code base. Both the cases it will work. And CI CD pipeline, if you say, here is excellent because we can do for integration with a good. Okay, it will do for excellent because it is having for command line as well. Quick command line it will support. Okay, there is no much difficulty to set up in CI/CD line. Okay, here is good and here also good and here also good because it required for some setup. Okay, little bit complicated sometimes. Okay, but we can do it, but it will take little bit. Okay, testing type wise, if you say, and here we can able to do for load, stress, and speak and spoke. Okay, and here is only we can do for load and stress. And here there are four different kind of approaches we can do. Okay, and here only for two, and here also load and stress, and there also. Okay, three places, only two types, and first one K6 can do for four different kind of testings. Okay, and it will support more also. Okay, reporting standard wise, if you say, it will support for JSON and HTML and inbuilt of Garfon. Okay, this is basically a cloud based and all it will there. Okay, and JMeter support for HTML and CSV and also some other plugins as well. Okay, and Gatling also support for HTML and Kafka. And low cost it will support for web UI and CSV. Okay, these are the two reporting structures it will support. Okay, cloud support, if you say cloud support, it will support for Glafka. And here is JMeter is Blazemeter. Blazemeter is the one first we can say quicker reports and all you can able to see properly. And Gatling also it will support Gatling Enterprise. Okay, there is a Gatling Enterprise one it is there. That particular cloud it is there we can able to use. And low cost is basically it will use for custom or third party reports. Okay, custom or third party cases it will uses. Okay, and virtual users wise you can say it will use for lightweight and scalability. And JMeter it used for heavy resource usage. And if you see if you are Gatling effectively, okay, if effectively it will use. And low cost will use for lightweight. Okay, and customer support wise also community are supporting like support also you can say it will support for strong because they are we can it will support for strong based because cloud also it is there, right? We can able to get it for that. Okay, and JMeter it will use for large. Okay, because all over the world there are so many people they are using. Okay, Gatling like a one kind of moderate, and it is still low cost is basically growing. Support wise it's like still under supporting position only, like few people's only it is there, right? Because of that it will not support that much. Okay, these are all about the comparison. But if you say programming language how it will use and all, if you say there is a simplest way they can able to use. Okay, I'll show you for one K6 export constant they will do for options. Okay, two curly braces and semicolon here they can able to use for this all the things I'll explain you for virtual users. Okay, virtual users how many it is there 100 or 1000 and all it will we can able to provide. And duration how much seconds you need to seconds or minutes how much it is required, those all the things you can able to declare here. Okay, and you can after that you need to use for some coding standard like what exactly you are expected, like exports default functions. Okay, because it will use for JavaScript functionality. Okay, that's why. Okay, and it will go for constant response and it will use for HTTP dot get and we can able to provide for URL. Okay, for that URL check functionality it is there to check that one and res comma how much you are expected that particular expected condition like it is a message. Okay, and you can provide for that and use it for response or and create a function and there you can provide the status is equal to 200. It will get the 200 and it will go for 100 users and that particular 100 users it will give you for response. Okay, like this it will do for all kind of actions. Okay, simplest way. Okay, simplest way you can able to even you can do for web also by providing for base URL. Okay, what exactly you want to connect with that, those things you can able to provide. And if you say JMeter, how it will use means JMeter use that UI based plugins. Okay, it will get for thread group and we need to add inside the thread group. First, we need to add for thread group and inside the thread group we need to use for HTTP request. Okay, inside that we can able to use it based upon our convenient. Okay, Gatling is basically used for Scala. Okay, Scala functionality. Okay, this is understanding is little bit difficulty. It will get if someone is work already, they can able to easily understand. New member need to understand a few things. Okay, it will work like Java only, similar to that. Okay, not exactly that. Okay, the class it is there, extents is there, implementation is there. Like that, there is a functionality is there. Gatling is a complete language. We can, if you want, you can learn it. Okay. In case if you want Gatling performance, you can able to comment on this video. I can able to do that as well. Okay. You can say class app. Okay. Extents is there. Okay. And here simulators. Okay. There is a functions. Okay. And you can able to use for curly braces and here val HTTPS and use for HTTP a dot base URL. Okay, this one particular functionality here you need to provide the base URL and then here it is not required for semicolon and all you can able to ignore it. Okay, it's not a mandatory. Val and you can use for virtual user scenario what kind of scenario you are going to do that scenario. Okay, if it is API which is not API whatever it is. Okay, and then inside that scenario you need to use for execution. Okay, in this execution you need to provide for HTTP action which is like get functionality or something what kind of method it is, get products or get users whatever it is. Okay, and then you need to use for after that you need to use the get method. If it is get you can use for get, if it is post you can use for post. Okay, and then you can provide for URL of that. Okay, remaining the last position, right, like a API slash slash users like this, those URL you have to provide. Once you have provided you need to use the setup functionality. Inside the setup functionality you can use for inject. Okay, inject here you need to use for users. At once users you need to use the at once user, how many users you are going to use, 100 or 1000 or 10 users whatever it is you need to mention here. Okay, once you mention here you need to use the protocol and here what kind of protocol you are going to use, that particular protocol you have to provide. Here we use the protocol as HTTPS and you need to pass that particular HTTPS here. Okay, automatically it will take that base URL and it will do for all the actions. Okay, and low cost wise if you say low cost, it is basically a Python based programming. Okay, it is uses the Python programming language and class it will take and the API users. Okay, and you can able to say HTTP users. Okay, and this is the function you can able to say and here you can create for task. Under that task you can define what kind of like a get users. Okay, and it will use for self as the function. Okay, and then here also semicolon is not required but where you have to start and where you need to close and where you need to use for colon, that is required. Okay, self dot client dot get function and here you can able to pass for what kind of URL it is there. Okay, like this we can able to do for all the programming structure wise. Okay, and which is the best ways to use. Okay, based upon the market and based upon your company requirement you have to choose. Okay, if you like more on Python you can go ahead for Locust. In case if you want to do some all the members understanding format, JavaScript is the best. Okay, because most of the front-end developers can able to use it and easy to integrate and easy to do because we can able to use for command line. Okay, I'll prefer for K6 or JMeter. JMeter is basically everyone can able to use it because everyone know that because it's a easy in a UI graphical user interface it is there. You can use for threads and then use for HTTP. Whatever you want, you can able to play the easiest way. Okay. This is all about for this particular video, and we can see in the next video session like how to say install and then how to write first script and how to run it in next video session. Thank you for watching and please do subscribe and share to your friends and colleagues. Thank you.